Ladies and gentlemen, it is the prodigious, the prominent professor at Proclamation News and Governance. It's the last Friday of the month. It's the 30th of July, the last Friday of the month. It's the last day of the month tomorrow, 31st tomorrow, 31 days in July. Then we hit August. Then we've got August, ladies and gents. It's Proclamation News and Governance, ladies and gents. I'm so thankful for everyone coming through supporting the show. You know, I couldn't ask for a better audience for supporting the show. I really couldn't. Like I say, I'm on Proclamation News and Governance on YouTube. If you want to come through, support the show, I really, really appreciate it. I'm trying to give something back to the community. Giving something back to the community. You want to change your lifestyle. You want to change your lifestyle to amicable lifestyle. Here we go. Here we go, ladies and gents. You know, if you've got unhealthy lifestyle, maybe drinking, overindulging eating, overindulging narcotics perhaps, you want to change your lifestyle, you know you're doing wrong. We've all been there, we're all adults now, look back at your life and think, what was I doing wrong all them years ago? Sometimes it could be a chemical reaction in a relationship where you're both not getting on, you're both on different things. You need to let go and better your well-being. So relax-uk.com. Relax UK Limited, health, travel and wellness products since 1997. UK relaxation shops selling various ranges of products from relaxation, travel, well-being, biofeedback, sleeping and natural products. PSS alarms. Get a pen and paper ready. PSS alarms. You might want this around your house. You might want this around your business. You know, listen in. Very etiquette and pragmatic works carried out. All areas covered, including central station monitoring provided. All work done according to insurance requirements. This is a friend of mine's company. He's carried out works in Harry Kane's stepmother's house in Hertfordshire, Potts Bar. He's carried out etiquette works in Essex, such as Casbah Restaurant and many more big businesses. Installation and maintenance of intruder alarms, fire alarms, CCTV. All work guaranteed and certified to SSARB standards. 24-hour call-out service. Can provide CCTV for pubs, clubs, restaurants, or new business setup. Secure your business. Mention Professor Johnson for an extra discount. Secure your home, secure your business. Your safety and priorities within your business are paramount, so think safety, think first. Secure your equity. Secure your family. You got a life. Do you want your life? Do you want your wife's life? Do you want your husband's life? Do you want your children's life? If so, get security. Make your family secure. You know when you take them vows, for better or for worse. There you go. You secure your family. Make sure you got something there for your family when you pass away, when you secure your safety. Anyway, 07908 is the number. 07908 216 142. 07908 216 142. We're going to have a quick look at your car instance inside the UK. Before you enter the UK roads, think safety. Think first. Do not enter a vehicle under sleep deprivation, under influence of alcoholism, narcotics. Check for further police signs, signals, hand signals as well. Respect the police's order. If they put their hand up to stop, they stop. Could be an accident ahead, or they could be just, you know, doing a normal check. There's no. I see all these videos where people are videoing the police for questioning them. Why are people doing that? You know, police are there to serve and protect. And, you know, you've got normal society are trying to mock them on social media. Why do they do that? I do not know. They deserve all the respect they get for work. You know, they work throughout their docile humanities. It's horrific what they have to put up with. It really is horrific. I mean, them guys need a pay rise. Same as NHS and doctors, because the people have to put up with every day. Luckily, in my constituency, we've got 90% of the population in my area is, not addicted to narcotics. I don't think. I mean, I'm in the countryside, nice little place. But you get a rough gooseberry wherever you go, coming from a bad sociological background. But yeah, you do get a bad gooseberry wherever you go. Anyway, check your engine oil, water coolant tank, make sure it's at maximum level, make sure your PSI limits have plenty of air pressure into the maximum level. Make sure you and your passengers have seatbelts and babies have seatbelts adjacent to the car seat before takeoff. Make sure you're taxed, MOT'd, insured. Checking your centre mirror and wing mirror before turning, acting into a safe, sufficient directional choice. Making sure motorcyclists or other cars ain't overtaking. Anyway, let's have a look at the instance in the constituency of where I was born, in Essex. Clacton-on-Sea, A133. Partially blocked, accident, slow traffic. Partially blocked and slow traffic due to accident on A133 near B1027 St John's Road, St John's Roundabout. 30th of July 2021. This is reported at 12:18 p.m. St John's Roundabout. I think that's the fire station roundabout. Colchester, my constituency in Essex. A133, queuing traffic in construction area. Queuing traffic on A133, St Andrews Avenue, both ways at Waitrose. In the construction area, lane closures are in place. 3rd of July, this is reported at 12 p.m. Chelmsford, ladies and gentlemen, getting nearer to London. A12, slow traffic on the A12 northbound at junction 17, A130, Howell Green. This is reported at 12 midday today. It's literally just a couple of hours ago. We're heading over to Watford now, see what's going on over there. A41, emergency repair, lane closed, queuing traffic, one lane closed, and queuing traffic due to emergency repairs on A41. Colne Way eastbound at Woodmere Avenue, camera show lane 1 of 2 is closed. 6:53 a.m. What do we have in St Albans? Near Harlow, actually. M25, queuing traffic on M25 anti-clockwise from junction 28, A12, Brentwood, Brook Street roundabout to junction 27, M11, junction 6. This was reported today at 1:10 p.m. Just going a short break, guys. We've got 1, 2, 5 more segments to get through. And a short break. Please bear with me because I've got to share this on Twitter so we give everyone the updates, even my followers on Twitter, everything else. Thank you all for listening.
Joining me live this afternoon to talk about this subject, Paul Sweeney, is a Labour MSP. This is LBC News.
We can all do our bit for our environment. You can now recycle soft plastics like crisp packets and bread bags at Co-op. All you have to do is clean it, scrunch it, and Co-op it. Co-op is what we do. Selected Co-op group stores. For more details about which plastics you can recycle with us, just go to coop.co.uk/soft-plastics.
This summer at TalkTalk, we've got deals that make sense. Our new Fibre Plus packages offer everything you get with our standard unlimited fibre broadband plans, plus award-winning online security, plus guaranteed fixed prices from just £26 a month for 18 months, plus the latest Amazon Echo Dot with Alexa, plus an Amazon Smart Plug. When you add it all up, it just makes sense. Fibre Plus packages from TalkTalk. For everyone. Search TalkTalk Fibre. Offer ends 8 September. For notified post and packing, T's and C's at talktalk.co.uk. But let's face it, after the year we've had, many of us are carrying a few extra lockdown pounds. All that comfort eating and little treating has made a mark. And those extra pounds can put a strain on our bodies. Now's the time to turn things around. Let's shop smarter, eat better, and move more. Getting started is easier than you think. For free tips and tools to lose weight, search Better Health. Let's do this.
There are some things that only come alive when they move, and you're one of them. So don't stand still. Move forward with a hybrid car, like a sporty Kia Exceed, or one of our award-winning Kia Niros, or a stylish Sportage, or the Urban Stonic. All of these Kia hybrids come with 0% APR, first 2 services free, and 2 years roadside assistance if you order before the end of August. Move forward and go hybrid with Kia today. Kia, movement that inspires. 0% APR available over 24 months with a minimum 20% deposit. Kia Finance.
LBC News. Weather.
Sunshine and heavy thundery showers in London this afternoon, a stiff breeze and highs of 20 Celsius. Rain clearing for a drier night in the capital. Still some showers around though, and a low of 14 degrees. It's patchy cloud and bright spells to start on Saturday. Thundery showers through the afternoon though, highs of 21. Further scattered showers and sunshine Sunday with a high of 20, and a similar outlook for Monday.
LBC News. It's Friday, 30th of July. Let's talk about the Olympics. It's been an incredible journey so far for Team GB. We've certainly enjoyed bringing you great news from the medal table. Great Britain celebrating its first ever Olympic medals in BMX cycling, and gold for Beth Shriver. Wow. Luckily, we have our very own reporter across most of the events for us here on LBC News in Tokyo. Earlier I caught up with our Olympics reporter, Adam Hunt, with the latest.
She certainly has, Jim, and I think you mentioned it there. It shows the real dichotomy that we see at the Olympics. Novak Djokovic making headlines. You look at his career earnings over the course of his career, just on court, over $150 million in prize money. That's even without sponsorships. And he's competing in the same event, these Olympics, as Beth Shriver, who is having to scrabble together, beg, borrow and steal to get as much money as she can together, just even to be able to compete in Tokyo. She set up a crowdfunding website to make, she needed £50,000 to be able to come over here and compete and follow her dream to compete in the BMX racing in her first Olympics. She's a part-time school teacher as well to make enough money. And I think, this story and the rewards that are at the end of it, obviously for her winning gold, shows, I think, just why the Olympics are so special. Because for every Novak Djokovic and Rory McIlroy, you've got people like Beth Shriver who are living out their dream and achieving their dreams in winning gold. It was a fabulous day for her.
Absolutely. Let's hear from her now, talking about that change, the financial support being cut and then the crowdfunding.
The funding got cut for women's BMX a few years ago, so I ended up going solo and working part-time as a teaching assistant, and then had to end up crowdfunding to get to Australia and pay for a coach. So yeah, so grateful for all the support and that I've got over the years.
Now, I know that we like to have little names for things. Monday, we were calling it Medal Monday, and people are calling it Fantastic Friday. That's just a bit of journalese, I guess, for you. Where are we at, though, Adam? It's been an incredible week on the medals table.
Yeah, absolutely fabulous, Jim. Day 7 here in Tokyo, officially, of the Games. The medals keep on coming. 6 in all so far today. That means we're 6th in the gold medals table. With 6 medals, China leading the way.
Come back to that shortly, then, James. We can move on the show. We're looking at provocations causing local constituency of Essex. Some of you might not be all coming from all over the world, let alone England itself. But listen in, see what we're putting up with for our society. It's happening all around the globe. Essex crime. Police name woman charged with murder after man found dead at home in Enfield. More casualties. More reports for the police, more casualties for NHS. It's a shocking thing to get involved, isn't it? For the police, you've got to be, you've got to be strong-minded to see all this going on. Really have. Police found a body at the address on Tuesday, July the 30th. A woman has been charged with murder following the discovery of a body at a home in Enfield. Met police officers were called at Stanley Road in Enfield, Greater London, at approximately 4 p.m. on Tuesday, 27th of July. It followed multiple calls of concern from members of the public. When they arrived, they found the body of 46-year-old Omar Bilal. Officers can now confirm they have charged 40-year-old Heaven Bilal with murder. She is due to appear at the Abbey Corner Magistrates Court. Police believe the two were known to each other, and work is underway to inform Omar's next of kin. Officers from the Met Specialist Crime Forces are investigating and inquiries continue. A post-mortem investigation will be carried out in due course. Essex crime. Police investigated after a man dies in Conan. Essex services swarmed the area yesterday afternoon, Thursday, the 30th of July. Police officers have confirmed they are investigating after a man died in Conan yesterday afternoon, Thursday, July 30th. Emergency services were pictured swarming around an area along Gifford's Cross Road in Conan, Essex. The area was cordoned off, and police now confirm that a man in his 40s had died. Officers are now investigating circumstances surrounding the death. An Essex police spokesperson said, "We were called by colleagues in the ambulance service to Guildford's Cross Road in Stamford Hope shortly before 3:50 p.m. Thursday, 29th of July. We arrived and sadly found a man died in his 40s. A man at age 40 has died. At the moment, we're investigating circumstances leading up to his death. No arrests have been made." What are your thoughts when they investigated death? Was it just a sudden death at the age of 40? Could be anything. Could be. Was he drinking? Was he alcohol? What crossed your mind? Was he ill health? You don't know if he was suffocated. You don't know any cause of death, do we? Don't know. Obviously, I'm looking from a police investigator's perspective. I'm not looking at perspective of their family, because the family are going to think for the worst, obviously. And if it is the worst that's happened, you can only give your condolences. Hopefully they get justice on whoever done it, and they die of slow death in prison. Drug deaths in Scotland reached new record level. More than 1,300 people died of drug misuse in Scotland last year, with the country seeing a record number of deaths for 7th year in a row. The annual figures show that there were 1,339 drug deaths last year, an increase of 75 from the 1,264 recorded the previous. It means Scotland continues to have by far the highest drug death rate recorded by any country in Europe, and its rate is more than 3.5 times England and Wales. The number of drug-related deaths has increased substantially over the past 20 years and is now almost three times higher than it was a decade ago, with the upward trend accelerating since 2013. Men were 2.7 times as likely to have a drug-related death than women last year, after adjusting for age. Almost 2/3 of deaths were people aged between 35 and 54, with the average increasing from 32 to 43 over the past 2 decades. Greater Glasgow and Clyde had the highest rate of all health board areas at 30.8 deaths per 100,000 people, followed by Ayrshire and Avon and Tayside, with rates of 27.2 and 25.7 respectively. And people in the most deprived parts of the country were 18 times more likely to have drug-related death, and those in the least deprived. The gap has widened significantly since the start of the century, when deaths were 10 times higher in most deprived areas. Some 93% of deaths reported in 2020 were as a result of accidental overdoses, while 4% were considered deliberate self-poisoning. The figures show 1% of deaths were a result of a long-term drug abuse, while 2% were underdetermined. More than one drug was found to be present in the body of 93% of those who died. suggesting that many of the deaths were caused by Scotland's polar drug habit, mixing dangerous street drugs with alcohol and prescription pills. Opiates such as heroin and methadone were implicated in 1,192 deaths, while benzodiazepines such as diazepam and etizolam were implicated to 974. Gabapentin and or pregabalin were present of the bodies of 502 people who died, and cocaine in 459. There have been large increases in numbers of deaths where street benzodiazepines such as etizolam were involved in recent years, from 58 in 2015 to 879 last year. The fake Valium that sells for a litre of 50p is sometimes stronger than prescription drugs and is often taken alongside other drugs such as heroin. And an analyst by Chris Clement, BBC Scotland social affair correspondent. 3 people a day, the highest rate in the UK and in Europe. Look inwards, a 4-fold increase in Scottish drug deaths since the start of the century. And yet the shock may lie in how much that everyone had grimly predicted yet another record year. The pandemic undoubtedly affected addiction services, but no one is arguing that if it hadn't been for COVID, Scotland's drug problem would be solved. Poly drug use is rife. Those succumbing will mix methadone prescriptions with heroin. They will then take benzodiazepines, that likely so-called street Valium, counterfeit pills, pressed by gangsters and flooding communities at 50p a pop. All those things come together to slow a person's breathing until it stops, and the poorest are worst hit. Those living in deprived community are 18 times more likely to die of an overdose than those in affluent areas. How did Scotland tackle this? Scottish Government hopes that the investment of 250 million in innovations such as naloxone, an overdose reversal drug, an alternative to methadone, may turn the oil tanker around, but it may take time. New treatment standards for addiction services should also have an effect, but questions remain over why these have been in place before. There is a clamour for a more radical action. Calls for the rights recovery, more investment in rehab services, and big question for the UK government at Westminster too over the effectiveness of its 50-year-old Misuse of Drugs Act. But overall, it is now better acknowledged that these excess in these health services were for too long neglected and underserved. That acknowledgement will be of little comfort to the families that we have lost. Opposition parties say cuts to drug rehab and addiction programmes by the Scottish Government have had a big part to play in the upward trend in the number of deaths in recent years. First Minister Nicola Sturgeon has previously admitted that the number of deaths were indefensible and a national disgrace, and that her government had done enough to tackle the problem. The Scottish Government has pledged to spend an extra 250 million over the next 5 years in an attempt to reduce the number of deaths, including 20 million a year, on increasing the number of residential rehabilitation beds across the country. The Scottish Drug Death Task Force, which was set up in 2019, has also been working to increase the distribution of naloxone and medication that can reverse the effects of an opiate-related overdose. Almost 2/3 of ambulance crews are now able to distribute it to people who might need it and to train them in its use. Responding to the latest figures, Ms Sturgeon tweeted that the number of lives lost to drugs continued to be unacceptable. She said the government does not shirk the responsibility and determined to make changes that will save lives, but said the figures predate the actions had set out at the start of the year. Public Health Minister Joe Fitzpatrick has lost his job. Shortly after New Year's figures were published, Ms Sturgeon created a new post of drug ministers for Angela Constance. Ms Constance said the latest figure heartbreaking and that the government working hard to get more people into treatment works for them as quickly as possible. She also announced that the data on suspected drug deaths will be published quarter from September of this year to ensure we can react more quickly and effectively to this crisis and identify emerging trends. I give back to society now. Kane Duff says he can contribute to society now he has returned his life around. Give back to society. Kane Duffy from Edinburgh has stayed clear of drugs for the last 14 years. He started using heroin when he was 14 and a methadone prescription until his early 30s. The 44-year-old broke free from drug use after a stay at NHS funding, Logan and Edinburgh abstinence project LEAP. He now works as a specialist therapist at the Castle Craig Rehab Clinic. He said, all the time I had taken for my services, everything I was prescribed, every time the police had to intervene in my life, all these things amount to a huge amount of money. I still don't like paying my council tax, but now I do pay my council tax. I pay on parking fines when I get them. I give back to society directly through the work I do and the taxes I provide. I don't cost the state anything now. Scottish Conservative leader Douglas Ross, as a united national effort was now needed to tackle the drug crisis, and called on Ms Sturgeon to back his party proposals for a right to recovery bill. The bill, which has been developed for the recovery of treatment experts, which enshrine in law that everyone can access the treatment they need, including a residential rehabilitation place. Mr Ross said the drug crisis is a national shame. It is a stain on Scotland that so many of our most vulnerable people have been left without hope, crushed by a system that is thoroughly broken. This is not a day for political posturing, but it's a simple fact that the government, with small steps, are not cutting it. The crisis is getting worse and spiralling out of control. Scottish Labour leader Anas Sarwar said the deaths were tragic consequences of the years to failure of getting to grips with the growing crisis in Scotland and to address the threat posed by drugs. He added, with the same drug laws as the rest of the UK, but 3.5 times the rate of drug deaths. We can and must act now by investing in a range of services and delivering truly person-centred treatment and recovery. And the Scottish Greens said the approach of the drugs by the Scottish and UK government was wrong, and said it was time for restoring people's dignity and treating their addiction rather than criminalising them. I mean, that is absolute. You guys, I hope you really took that in. When I say you're part of the aristocracy social elite, I hope you was both observed and preserved for that conversation, because they're trying to stop these drug addicts in the town centres. It's getting horrific. How they just loiter about like rats in the town centre. It's always been like it. All generations always been like it. You've got, no good doers in life, inhumane to society. They've been bullied by society and let down by society. Most of them. They don't want to be that person now, and they've just been bullied from a young age. And it's their way of life to some of them. It's a shame. And most people just say, shut the book or turn the page, forget about them, just live with it. But they need help, they need support. Because, beneath all that drugs in their system, they probably actually could be quite good to society. Everyone's got a creative, skillful side in their life. They really need to, and they need to give them a lifestyle. Really do. Give them a bit of hope. Jim Diamond, LBC Land Gents. Thank you all for tuning in. Really appreciate everyone come through.
For $27.99 a month for feel-good entertainment at a feel-good price. Why choose anyone else? Join BT today. New customers, 24-month contracts, $39.99 upfront, ends 5th of August. CPI plus 3.9% increase each March. $47.99 for month 35. Terms apply. Now entertainment membership RRP $9.99 a month. BT TV entertainment £12 for month 7.
Excuse me, is there a cash point near here?
Of course. End of this street. Exactly 48 steps for someone 5'11" with size 10 feet. Then turn 90 degrees counterclockwise and continue for 341 meters. That's 372.922 yards in old money. Then
At Zeiss, we pride ourselves on being precise, really precise. Engineering innovative technology into every lens we make, all subtly engraved with our signature hallmark. Zeiss lenses, precision you can see. Available at Boots Opticians.
We've come a long way in the fight against COVID-19. Millions of us are now protected by the vaccine and are less likely to become seriously ill or go to hospital. But even if you've been vaccinated, you can still get COVID-19 and you can still pass it on. So let's remember, meet outside if you can, and let fresh air in when you're inside. Wear a face covering in crowded places, check in when you're heading out, and do keep testing regularly. Let's keep life moving. Find out more at gov.uk/coronavirus.
When the time is right to go places, we want to make sure you feel safe and that's why at LNER, we're making sure everything is clean. Plus, you can reserve a seat in advance to guarantee a space. Please plan ahead and try to avoid busy times. Find out more on the LNER app or at lner.co.uk. This is our LNER.
LBC News. Weather.
Sunshine and heavy thundery showers in London this afternoon, a stiff breeze and highs of 20 Celsius. Rain clearing for a drier night in the capital. Still some showers around though, and a low of 14 degrees. It's patchy cloud and bright spells to start on Saturday. Thundery showers through the afternoon though, highs of 21. Further scattered showers and sunshine Sunday with a high of 20 and a similar outlook for Monday.
This is LBC News. I hope you're very well. Let's dive into the sport right away. And here's John Weeks.
Team GB are continuing to win medals at the Tokyo Olympics. There have been 6 so far today. BMX racer Bethany Shriever says she's over the moon to have won gold for Great Britain on a successful morning in Tokyo. The 22-year-old had to use a crowdfunding campaign and work part-time as a teaching assistant to get to Japan after UK Sports cut her support. She admits that makes becoming Olympic champion even more special.
I've worked so hard. I've dealt with injuries as well the past few months. Like having my friends there, my boyfriend, my family behind me, it all pushes me in the right direction and it helps me so much. So I'm grateful for everyone's support and this means so much.
Elsewhere, Kai White earned a silver in the men's BMX event. Duncan Scott won a silver in the 200 metres medley and Luke Greenback got a bronze in the 200 metres backstroke to continue Britain's success in the pool. But Great Britain's women have suffered a devastating 4-3 defeat to Australia to go out in the Olympic football quarter-finals. They conceded an 89th minute equaliser before missing a penalty and conceding twice in extra time. And Manchester United say Marcus Rashford will undergo shoulder surgery imminently. The England forward's been suffering with the injury for a while. United kick off their Premier League campaign against Leeds in a couple of weeks.
Thank you very much, John, for that. Let's check the FTSE 100 this afternoon. And a short time ago, trading down 36 points at 7042. In terms of your business news, Deliveroo is going to stop operating in Spain 4 months after Madrid announced gig economy workers must be treated as employees. The delivery app says the decision has made its long-term prospects a little bit more uncertain. In fact, they use the word highly uncertain. It currently has a presence in 12 countries. NatWest has restored shareholder dividends after bouncing back into profit. It's posted pre-tax profit of £2.5 billion for the 6 months to June, compares to a loss of £770 million the year before. And Cineworld secured £143 million in new loans. It's trying to shore up its finances because the business was hit by the pandemic. Many closures of months of that, plus lots of blockbusters were delayed, weren't they? Because they couldn't shoot them. The film firm says it is excited about the unprecedented slate of movies in the second half of the year. Can't remember last time I went to the movies. Don't know about you. There's more online at lbc.co.uk. There's so much data to get through with regard to the pandemic. We should be catching up live with our political correspondent, our Westminster correspondent, Ben Kentish. We'll be looking at that. Plus, we'll be hearing more about the concern of those drug deaths in Scotland. You're on LBC News.
This is LBC News. As long as the virus rages elsewhere, there's a risk of new mutations that could threaten our people.
I've really never come across as having such a huge and collaborative programme as the vaccination programme.
Where the news never stops.
If these people are still confident they did their best, then why are they still reticent for us to know about
I
it?
think this year we've all become very aware of how important a safe and effective COVID is.
Listen on Global Player. LBC News.
So you now earn me not just 1, but 1.5 membership rewards points on every pound when we spend 20k. It's fair to say you've got a bright future.
Thanks, boss. As you can see, I'm an Amex Business Gold Card, so I'm just doing my job.
Not anymore. Now you're a senior executive Amex Business Gold Card. You've earned it.
I won't let you down.
The all-new American Express Business Gold Card. The card that works harder for your business. Search Amex Business Gold. Terms apply. 18 plus subject to approval. Annual fee £175. First year free. Basic card also available with no annual fee or benefits.
You know what makes me smile? A nice takeaway at the end of the week. Chinese, Indian, that new Korean. It's all good so long as I don't have to cook it myself. It's getting expensive now, mind. Don't expect much change from 20 quid. But I tell you what, I got new glasses from Specsavers yesterday and I got change from a 20. Brand new glasses for less than a takeaway, including the lenses. That's something to smile about.
Complete glasses from £19 at Specsavers. Include standard single vision lenses only. Ask in store for further details.
Here comes half-price unlimited data SIMs in O2's best ever summer sale. Here comes unlimited streaming of the latest flicks, unlimited playlists, unlimited video calling, unlimited gaming. Here comes not having to be shy with your data. Here comes an unlimited summer.
With O2, you can now get half-price unlimited data SIMs for just £15 a month for the first 6 months in our best ever summer sale. Search O2 SIM only.
Plus RPI with a 3.9% increase ends 11th of August. Eligibility and terms apply.
Expedia presents a tribute to that special someone you never leave home without. Your bestie, BFF, your buddy old pal, brother from another mother or sister from another mister. Partner in crime, your ride or die. Whatever you call them, everywhere's better when you travel together. That's why, like a great companion, Expedia has your back throughout your journey with flexible options all in one app.
Flexible options on selected hotels. Terms apply. At all protected.
LBC News. The latest news headlines next.
We've come a long way in the fight against COVID-19. Many more of our favourite places are fully open for business again. Shops, stadiums, cafes, cinemas and nightclubs. And if we work together, we can keep them that way. But the virus is still with us, so we should all carry on protecting our friends and family. So if you have mild symptoms, don't guess. Take a test and stay at home if you think you could have the virus, even if you've been vaccinated. Let's keep life moving. Find out more at nhs.uk/get-tested.
On your radio, on Global Player, and
Play LBC News.
where the news never stops. This is LBC News.
From the Global's newsroom, it's 3 o'clock. I'm Jim Diamond. Good afternoon. These are your headlines. The coronavirus R number in England has gone down slightly compared with the week before. Government figures show it's between 1.1 and 1.4, meaning that on average, every 10 people who have it will infect between 11 and 14 others. Labour says we're in a real summer of chaos. And double vaccinated people in England should be released from self-isolation, the regulations sooner than planned.
We should do the same and allow some order to come back into our lives, allow some stability for holidays and for businesses. There's too much chaos. There isn't a satisfactory answer from the government as to why they're clinging on to the date of 16th of August.
For a 7th year running, the number of drug-related deaths in Scotland has hit a new high. More than 1,300 people losing their lives in 2020.
It's a very complex picture. It's going back years now, some demographic factors, but also there are a number of things that have happened in recent years that have exacerbated the problem.
And Team GB have added another 6 medals in Tokyo, including a gold medal in BMX racing for Bethany Trieber. She had to fund her own qualification campaign after UK Sport ended its financial support for her event. LBC News weather.
Sunshine and heavy thundery showers in London this afternoon and highs of 20. I'm Adam Barber. In the next 15 minutes, I'll bring you a full forecast.
LBC News travel.
The M25 has severe delays heading anti-clockwise between Junction 4 at Aldington and the Dartford Tunnel. It's queuing for 8 miles along that stretch. Travel time is around an hour. Now, the M11 has queues heading out of town from Junction 5 at Loughton all the way up to 6 for the M25. There's been an accident there. The lane's been closed off on the Exeter Road. Problems in Watford, the A41 Cambridge is queuing on the eastbound side at Woodmere Avenue. That's all down to emergency repairs there. The inside lane's being closed. And in South Kensington, Cromwell Road, the A4 has delays on the westbound side at Queensgate. A car's broken down there, so one lane is blocked. I'm Emma Bussey. Your next update is in 20 minutes here on LBC News.
This is LBC News. Good afternoon, I'm Jim Diamond. We're live across the UK, 2 minutes after 3. Some breaking news from the courts. The Labour MP, Apsana Begum, has just been found not guilty at Snaresbrook Crown Court of housing fraud. So I'll bring you more details with regard to that case in due course. But first up on LBC News, let's have a chat and talk about the data that is out with regard to the pandemic. We have been hearing for a number of things. The R number in England's gone down slightly compared with the week before. Government figures today show it's between 1.1 and 1.4, meaning that on average every 10 people who have it will infect between 11 and 14 others. We've also not just had the R number today, we've also been getting details of the infection rates and the breakdown with regard to that. And we know that they are particularly high in England and in Northern Ireland, and they've gone down in Scotland, but they're slowing in England. This has just come in from the Department of Health in Northern Ireland. 3 more deaths of patients who had previously tested positive for COVID-19 have been notified. A further 1,101 cases of the virus reported across the region. This morning, in Northern Ireland, 232 COVID-19 positive patients in hospital, with 32 in intensive care, and 2,248,598 vaccines have been administered. There is a lot of question over as well about vaccine take-up in Northern Ireland, and indeed more young people with COVID are ending up in hospital, we're hearing, than at any other time during the pandemic, according to the data that we have. Let's bring in our Westminster correspondent, Ben Kentish. It is quite overwhelming sometimes, just looking at the data dump of information, especially as a lot of it is modelling and or estimates and surveys.
Yes, Jim, and it always comes on a Friday afternoon, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But yes, there's a real sense of confusion at the moment. I think perhaps more than there has been, perhaps through the whole pandemic, about exactly what is going on, particularly in England, because the official figures, the official testing figures that are published every day by the government have shown cases falling quite significantly over the last week, although starting to trend back up a little bit in the last couple of days. At the same time, we have the evidence from what's called the Zoe app, which is an app that's been launched by a professor called Tim Spector at King's College London, which effectively asks tens of thousands of people to register when they have symptoms that may well be likely to be COVID. He says that app, that study, which has typically been pretty reliable, shows that cases are around 60,000 a day, double what the official figures suggest, and rising quite fast, Jim. He's very worried about the official data. He thinks that it shows not a falling case.
Here we go, ladies and gents.
What it seems to show, but in fact, people coming forward to get tests, even if perhaps they have symptoms. Then we have the ONS data from the Office for National Statistics.
Yeah, by the way, ladies and gents, this is my own teleological thoughtful process. I'm not a spin-off from LBC. I'm Proclamation News and Governance. I am the prodigious, the prominent Professor Johnson. Absolutely. Both preserved. I'll make you all feel like you're part of that aristocracy social elite. And you know what? I enjoy your company. Acknowledging the show just means phenomenal amounts of happy thoughts. I'm overwhelmed. Really am overwhelmed with the constant support I get at Proclamation News and Governance. So I just want to thank you to everyone. We're going to have a look at the Holocaust Memorial outside Parliament to go ahead. The government has given a go-ahead to the Holocaust Memorial to be built next to the House of Parliament. The plans including 23 large bronze sculptures and an underground learning centre were previously rejected by Westminster Council. The decision has been overturned following an inquiry. The Board of Deputies of British Jews said it was delighted, but concerns have been raised that the site become target for terrorists. However, the government said it was confident that the memorial to be built on the Victoria Tower Gardens, with work starting later this year, would be secure. Former Prime Minister David Cameron announced plans to project in 2016, but has been beset by disagreements over its meaning, as well as public safety and possible harm to parkland. The Save Victoria Tower Gardens campaign group said it would appeal against the Minister of Housing, Communities and Local Government (NHCLG) decision. One of its leaders, cross-bench peer Baroness Deitch, said the memorial would be divisive, adding, "We passionately believe that the Holocaust should be remembered, but we believe that it is ill-considered and damaging proposal will do a disservice to victims and survivors, and little to enhance understanding and respect." The MHCLG ruled in favour of it going ahead, following a public local inquiry into Westminster Council's original decision. I mean, people like history and they want to know why and understand why war happened. I mean, today's modern society, it's not all, people ain't going to war for the sake of, killing one another. I mean, back in the day, it was totally deranged how war was affecting society, different culturalism, different religious beliefs. It's just crazy, different skin tone. But now, how things have changed over time. People understand that history is always going to be remembered. People understand what happened. History is always there. History is never forgotten. It's not something you brush under the carpet. It's important to us. It's important for your brain as well, to keep your brain occupied. We can show the world what happened. Among those attending an event in Victoria Tower Gardens to commemorate the decision to give the go-ahead to the Holocaust Memorial was Lily Ebert. In July 1994, the Hungarian-born Lily was deported, aged 14, to the Auschwitz-Birkenau extermination camp in Poland, where her mother, young brother and younger sister were sent to the gas chambers. It is a big achievement for us that we are here and we can show the world what happened, that we survived, she told BBC. It's a beautiful occasion with people here. We feel that we can build something that is not only for us, but for our children and grandchildren, so we'll not forget what happened. Prime Minister Boris Johnson welcomed the decision, tweeting, "We have a duty to ensure that the Holocaust is never forgotten and it will continue to be taught to future generations." Committee Secretary Robert Jenwick told the BBC the Memorial and Learning Centre would educate and inform future generations about the horrors of the Holocaust, and that it hoped millions of people would visit it every year. He added that would also foster a better understanding of the British role in tragedy, things we did right and what we did wrong. And Labour leader Sir Keir Starmer backed the project, arguing it was vital in educating future generations about Holocaust. Marie van der Zyl, President of the Board of Deputies of British Jews, said, "There will be something uniquely powerful about locating a memorial to the Holocaust right next to the centre of UK democracy. Whilst the Holocaust was a particularly crime against Jewish people, the Nazis also viciously prosecuted Roma, gay and disabled people. And this memorial will speak to that," she added. "The messages and learnings that one should glean from its memorialisation are a powerful reminder of the universal values of fairness and justice that the democracy society has a responsibility to bestow upon its citizens. Some Jewish leaders have voiced their concerns about the memorial. 6 million Jewish men, women and children and other victims were murdered by Nazis during the Second World War." Some more ironic, peculiar provocations caused in Essex. Men's rehabilitations, but not to human society, to welfare, to animals, to creatures, to pets. It's shocking. Cat killer. Steve Bouquet jailed for 5 years after a spree of knife attacks. Steve Bouquet attacked 16 cats, killing 9 in a case that stunned detectives for months. Sickening, isn't it? A security guard who knifed cats to death in a string of attacks has been jailed for more than 5 years. Only some cats Steve Bouquet killed were in Hove Crown Court on Friday. The 54-year-old in prison for 16 attacks in Brighton. After a spree which lasted between October 2018 and June 2019, he was finally captured on CCTV set up by an owner of a dead cat. Bouquet was convicted last month of 16 knife offences of criminal damage in relation to cats and possession of a knife. 9 cats, Hendrix, Tommy, Hannah, Alan, Nancy, Gizmo, Kylo, Ollie and Cosmo were killed, while another 7 were injured. During the trials, juries heard accounts of several cat owners who had found their pets bleeding on their doorstep. Sentencing Bouquet, Judge Jeremy Gold, QC, said his behaviour was cruel. It was sustained and struck a very heart of a family life. It is shocking he got a pet cat and someone's killed it. In his police interview read out during his trial, Bouquet told officers that all he knew about the cat killings was that he had read on the newspaper and online. He told police he was no threat to animals, but a photo of a dead cat was found on his phone, the court has heard. Absolutely shocking, absorbing information. Terrible state of affairs. Means rehabilitations to the guy. Why? I do not know. Ladies and gents, it's proclamation news and Governance. I'm overwhelmed with the support. People acknowledging the show. I've got some great supporters come on that want to support me. I'd like to build a bigger, better establishment eventually. It isn't easy. It's not easy to get the support you need. But we will get there one way, which way or another. We will get there because we're methodical. People will either love me or they hate me. At the end of the day, we've all got to live. Doesn't matter how you live your life, as long as you're living it by the best procurement without hurting society. And when I say about hurting society, giving it unprescripted, prescribed drugs or alcoholism. There you go. It's proclamation news, Governance. Shaken, not stirred. One love. God bless. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Take care. One love. Speak soon.